dajalilade rahase Champions League ek had gas mein hanguman kick ve java naramenne bhagi dulanne bhidi dasate goal ek gannai sit sarasenne samarok venne sabdeta denne we are one game one heart one game one heart Champions League this is where we start together we dream together we fight we are the champions the Champions League is finally one game, one heart, Champions League. This is where we start. Together we dream, together we fight. We are the champions. Under the light. We play for love, pride and pain. Every child who dreams a game. No borders here, no fear, no end. Just one dream that we defend. மரங்கள் கிக்காகவே களத்தில் உறுதியாய் மின்னவும் நாவே Champions League வரவே உணர்வது கேட்டோருமே Cheer ekai කැම්මක් දෙන්නේ කොල්ලෝ සෙට් එකම එක් වෙන්නේ ගෝල් එකට කික් එක දෙන්නේ Champions League में अरबन्ने one game one heart Champions League satanai अरबन्ने दिल्ली देने जय गन्ने एक सीनट अभियाने one game one heart Champions League where dreams take part raise your flags feel the art football one game one heart
Hello and welcome back to the Racecourse International Stadium here on yet another beautiful Sunday afternoon from the heart of Colombo. Live and direct with the coverage of the Champions League here, Sri Lanka's football pyramid's second tier. St. Mary's taking on Super Sun in match 29 of this tournament with it all to play for between these two sides in the lead up to the conclusion of the initial group stages. While we wait for the teams to line up, we'll have a quick look at the playing conditions today. Partly cloudy, so no direct sunlight necessarily falling on the players. A bit hot as well, 30 degrees. Although there's a light breeze flowing through this pitch and high humidity. So it's a mixed bag of conditions. And at the very least, it's not burning hot and direct in terms of the sunlight here on the players. Don't forget, if you're joining us, you're probably watching this already, but if you want to share some platforms for you to watch this game further, or with those here at home and abroad, Sri Lanka Football's Facebook and YouTube pages will be broadcasting this game. Supreme TV as the terrestrial broadcaster and the Papare worldwide. So St. Mary's preparing to battle Super Sun in this crucial Week 5 fixture. Both teams competing in the highly competitive Group B. This match represents a vital opportunity to climb the table and secure a point in the next round, the final round. And this is your updated points table. St. Mary's 7 points on top. They want to continue with their winning run and hold on to their unbeaten record so far. Pelicans SC also going to be closely behind them, and they will be taking on Super Sun, who are the bottom club, so they'll be expecting a win. Not to forget Solid SC also on 7 points. Sri Lanka Police following closely in fourth after that shock loss. Moragasmulla SC and Matra City round up 5th and 6th positions with 4 points and 3 points. So this table really reflects one where one win and one loss either way can really change the dynamic of this tournament. And this, of course, not to forget, tournament continuing following that brief hiatus that we had to take owing to the adverse weather conditions and the cyclone that hit Sri Lanka. Here's a look at the fixtures from this game week. Crystal Palace, Gampala's very own, winning 3-0 versus Sri Lanka Transport Board. Saunders SC winning 1-0 versus New Star. Java Lane defeating Negombo Youth 2-1 after a late surge by Negombo Youth in yesterday's first kickoff. Solid SC romping home to a 6-1 win versus Moragasmulla SC. And now you're joining us for the St. Mary's versus Super Sun SC game. But not to forget, we'll also be having Pelicans taking on Matra City later this evening. So Group B can really change in terms of its dynamics by the end of today's match day. And with it all to play for,
Ladies and gentlemen,
we'll now wait for the players to be welcomed onto the pitch. We're just hearing now that the players are lining up here beneath us.
and today we are having the match of St. Mary's from Jaffna and Super Sun from Bengal. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the teams of St. Mary's Sports Club from Jaffna and Super Sun Sports Club from Bengal.
So north-south clash of sorts on the cards today. Jaffna's very own St. Mary's SC taking on Beruala Super Sun. A number of interesting players here representing both sides. And despite Super Sun not really having a very good run-up to this tournament, in this tournament so far, they'll certainly be thinking that with the players that they have, particularly the likes of Ismail Abumere, that they can turn this game around and potentially give themselves an opportunity to climb back up out of the bottom of that table. And here we have the referees making their way onto the pitch, followed by both the players. Match referee for today, A.M. Jafran, assisted by Sampath Liana Gunawardhan and K. Pradeepan, who will be playing the role of linesman, and Asanka Silva, who will function as fourth official, and a very familiar face, Navod Vijay Vikrama, today's match commissioner for this game as well. And some quick formalities here prior to the start of kickoff, and joining me is Bilal Marika to take you through today's game. Bilal, top of the table versus bottom of the table, Group B. But with the way the group is structured, you can expect, depending on how the results go today, that the group can turn on its head.
Very good evening, Deshan. Definitely a game to look out for this, even though it's the top team versus the bottom team. We do know that the Super Suns have a very good lineup, and here are the match officials for today. It's A.M. Jafran who will be officiating the game, assisted by Sampath Liana Gunawardhan and K. Pradeepan, and also Asanka Silva as the fourth official. Here's the Super Sun team. Have a lot of interesting names in their squad, but unfortunately haven't lived up to their potential as of yet. St. Mary's, of course, will be looking to continue their unbeaten run here. They've played 3 games so far in this tournament. They've won 2 of them and drawn 1. So they'll be looking for another win here and hoping to remain, wanting to remain at the top of the table. Here's the toss between both captains, M. Nidarsan for St. Mary's and Azam Ahmed for Super Sun SC.
One final picture to conclude the formalities prior to kickoff. And with that, both teams settling in in their corners for this game. So no switch on your screens now. That experienced man, Balagamage Shivanka, bags of experience that he has. Here's a quick look at your Super Sun lineup. Captain Azam Ahmed is going to be joined in the defense by Michael along with Ravindu Dushan, Balagamage Shivanka and Mohammad Adil in the middle of the park. In front of them, Bandanage Channa, Azim Ahmed Kamara Jr. and up front, that danger man Ismaila Abu Mere going to be joined by Rinas Ahmed.
Here's the St. Mary's lineup. Because M. Nidarsan, the captain, will be controlling the midfield, and we'll have John Loyas, M. Prem Kumar, and A.S. Jerushan playing in the front. Of course, in the middle, we'll be having the captain, and alongside him, Jason Asan Meron, Jayatila Kainthan. And in goal, we'll be having S. Sindhujan. And in the defense, we'll be having S. Madhivadanan alongside S. Ruben Raj. Because head coach Ratnam Juzmin will be wanting to
Ladies and gentlemen,
have a clean, good match today here at the Racecourse International Stadium.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that's kickoff, so an interesting battle of wits in particular when you look at the benches, Ratnam Jasmine and also Rishan Shyam for Super Sun. It's going to be an interesting battle of wits there. Two coaches with quite a lot of experience and a track record of performance here in Sri Lanka's domestic football scene. Traditionally playing at the very highest level, but this time plying their trade in the second division. And that in itself is something both these teams would want to change. Both Super Sun and St. Mary's, proud football clubs with a long history, particularly St. Mary's representing the Northern Province and Jaffna. And as we see the initial exchanges, playing right to left in that yellow strip is Super Sun, while St. Mary's on your screen will be playing from left to right in their white and light blue strip.
Super Sun attempting to build from the back. Good build up, but not the result they would have expected.
I think something that we saw particularly in yesterday's games, the first one in particular, is about the fact that it was a very cagey affair, and what that does when these games tend to be a little cagey, particularly in the first half, is that lack of control can really affect how the game plays out from a game management perspective. So I think in particular St. Mary's, they will be coming into this game high on confidence. They'd feel that they should be dominating and controlling proceedings really in the middle of the park, whereas Super Sun, they'd be looking to stir the pot a little bit so that they can generate something for themselves. And just another little shove leading to a foul there as well. Referee Jaffran taking control and taking this game by the scruff of the neck very early on. To be careful there, just a little bit of a trip there from St. Mary's number 7 Prem Kumar. He's been quite the live wire when he's played. This pitch in particular has been seeing double headers thrice a week, every week over the last month or so. The pitch, and in particular, is also used for training by a few rugby teams. So it's a bit of a heavy pitch at the moment. It's important that the players keep that in mind when they are moving around and trying to make those quick turns, lose their footing. And Shivanka playing in the middle of the park there, and St. Mary's have picked it up in a dangerous area. Here is an opportunity now. Quick 1-2 in the middle. Ball nicked off the midfielder. Now Super Sun looking to break. Very nearly there. Rinas Ahmed couldn't really bring it down. The ball sent out for a throw in. So Super Sun playing a very high energy first few minutes. Really looking to take the game to their northern opponents.
Super Sun attempting to build from the back, but ball changes possession once again, and here's Super Sun now.
Should be releasing it a little bit sooner. Just a bit too much on it. And as a result, E.B. Channa, part of the furniture now. Bilal feels like donkeys years ago that he played for the national team, and he's been retired forever, so still plying his trade here in Sri Lanka's second division.
Definitely the coach will be hoping that he brings in some of the experience, and hope that the younger players in this squad learn from him as well.
Absolutely, and I think if the information that I have is correct, he's somewhere in his mid-40s now, so the fact that he's still able to compete, the fact that he's still able to get into a foot race with players potentially half his age or less is truly amazing. And he must be doing something right if he's been given that number 10 shirt in Super Sun's side as well.
He came in as a sub in the last game for Super Sun, but unfortunately he wasn't able to. Good piece of defense there. Going back to the last game, he wasn't able to create as much impact as he would have liked to. But today he has been named in the starting 11. Coach will be hoping he dominates that midfield. And here's St. Mary's now with an attacking set piece. 6 minutes into this game, they have a chance to put the ball in the back of the net. It's well defended by St. Mary's there. The counter disrupted.
Channa getting involved. And now spreading the ball out wide are Super Sun. Azam Mohammed's ball spread out wide, makes its way to the middle, but making no mistake there, Sindhujan manages to release it immediately. Jarushan turns and he finds his teammate there, Madhivadanan. Now Jerinzan with a hopeful ball there, making a bit of a meal of it, and very nearly John Loyas getting it, and I think a bit of a soft one on Shalita Tilakasiri, but given that he's holding his head, it's the referee's responsibility to check and make sure there is no major injury. But no, that's the first run onto the pitch on the cards for the medical staff for today. That's coming somewhere in the 7th minute, so barely anything in that one really.
Came off of the shoulder of his own player as well, as we see from the replay. A break in proceedings early on in the game. So far in this game, Deshan, we've seen a bit of possession from the Super Suns, but whenever the ball has come into that midfield, you're seeing it a bit stagnant, a little lack of creativity there.
Absolutely, ball not really moving as much as they'd like. So what that does create is a bit of pressure. The ball not really being used constructively, and much rather just hiked up the pitch very quickly with the aim of really trying to just get it over the defense. And so far, based on what we've seen, neither of the teams are playing a high line, and flag race for offside. It would have been a very close one on that occasion on Jerinson, and Jerinson was a bit surprised to see that he was offside. Interesting if we can have a look at that. Yes, and we can have a look. Don't really understand what the flag was for in that scenario. Did the ball bounce off the pitch onto his arm or something like that? It certainly wasn't offside.
Jerison would be feeling a bit hard done by that call. However, play resumes here. Long ball by the St. Mary's keeper, Sindhujan. Yes, Supersan now once again attempting to build up an attack. They just haven't been able to find the feet of their forwards through their passing sequence. Here's Chanda now. The long cross, well intercepted by St. Mary's. Here's St. Mary's on the counter. They'll have to be a bit proactive here. Supersan players tracking back. Slowly building up here.
Absolutely fantastic drive here, and St. Mary sends the ball into the box very nearly. And what a drive that was. Nice little 1-2. Played once or twice just on the edge of the box. And an absolutely brilliant bit of football by Jesunesan Meron. Did the right thing there. He wasn't really finding a lot of support. What should happen, ideally, is Prem Kumar should be breaking on into the edge of that 6-yard box and giving Meron an option for a pass. And he really didn't have much to do except try and test the goalkeeper. And he did fantastically well, and equal to it on that occasion was Shalita Tilakasiri. And the ball coming in once again. Here's an opportunity. It's a difficult technique there, moving away from the goal, trying to generate the right power to find the back of the net. Never easy.
And in these opening few minutes, it's St. Mary's who, despite slowing start, have proved much more of a threat to the Supersan defense. And here's Supersan now. So offside, little too eager there. Azim Ahmed should have slowed his run, timed his run a bit more precisely, and had he done that, there have been a lot of danger. St. Mary's. St. Mary's now will be looking for a long pass, long ball into their winger. Tussle at the edge of the box, crossed in. Here's another opportunity now. Another cross, just a bit overcooked at that instance and unable to keep it in there. Tilay Kandan. It was good thinking there by AS Jerushan. Just couldn't get the execution right. But some very good signs for St. Mary's here. It's always very nice to see that attacking threat. And as we speak, some dark clouds seem to have gathered over the stadium as well.
And much to the relief, I think, of the players as well, Bilal, because at least they don't have to deal.
Captain Nidarsan once again will look to emulate what he did last time.
Good clearing header there by Azhar Mohammed. Once again, Super Sun driving in. St. Mary's very disciplined with their four-man defense, but here's an opportunity. Good pass coming in. Abu Mere on the turn. Can he get a shot away? Doesn't really do much at all. And one would ask, should Kamara Jr. have taken a shot first? Because he had the goal at his mercy. Never going to get the shot on target there. Ibi Chanda marked by a man, so Abu Mere had to take a shot, but he was leaning back off balance and with his weaker foot, so never easy to wrap it around and send the keeper the wrong way. Kamara Jr. does well there. Ibi Chanda, and with a long hopeful ball, Ibi Chanda just a bit too much on it maybe, but no. Good chase, but Azim Mohammed just lacking the legs. Ibi Chanda, you can see the idea.
Straight into the boot of the Super Sun players. Ball exchanging possession in the midfield. St. Mary's have been testing that Super Sun defense, sending in wave after wave of attack, but they just haven't been able to pierce through and find the back of the net. Dogged defense by Super Sun as well to keep them away, to imbue them with a little bit of frustration as well.
Ibi Chanda taken off the ball a bit harshly, but should be releasing it just that second quicker. Shivanka Balgamage sends the ball long. Chanda at the end of it, and here's an opportunity for Super Sun. Just falling short, and the second chance. He almost just stands on it as opposed to hitting it, and they'll rue that one.
That should have been a goal for Super Sun. Golden opportunity. Just unable to maintain that composure in order to execute that shot after the first miss. Definitely be disappointed by that. Here's St. Mary's now pressing high. So again, putting some pressure on that Super Sun defense.
Just a bit too much on it once again. You can see what Kamara was trying to do in terms of break open those lines, but like I said, Bilal, both these teams trying to play it over the top, but it doesn't seem that either of the sides are playing a high line. If you look at St. Mary's, the way they've kind of structured their defense, they've got a very strong back four with almost a sweeper of sorts on the far side in terms of Nidarshan, their skipper, who's maintaining a line about 10 to 15 yards deeper than the other centre back. So playing over the top, not something that really works when you do have a sweeper.
Definitely so far we've seen from Super Sun just a one-dimensional plan of attack. They'll have to do something a bit more in order to create chances for their team. Here's a long throw into the box, and then almost lazy cross there, but he has managed to steal the ball from the Super Sun defense, and here's a cross. Ooh, and that's going to be little bit of trouble for St. Mary's. Just barging into the keeper there. Keeper doing quite well. Well done there by Shalita Tilakasiri to keep possession of the ball.
But again, E.B. Channa losing the ball in a dangerous area to Jerushan, whose cross maybe half a yard a bit squarer would have really put the Super Sun keeper under a great deal of stress. And well done once again by Jerushan to win a corner. I beg your pardon on that occasion. That was Jerinson, but does well to use his body and gets in the way. And a long throw on the part of Madhyavanan maybe. Yes, he's taken his steps. Long throw coming in, Madhyavanan. Not really long enough, that the throw in. Wasn't going anywhere worthwhile. And now here's an opportunity for St. Mary's. He should be taking the shot on the turn, but I really wonder what he was doing there, Bilal. Waiting for the ball to run across him into Mines, and misses out on the opportunity as a result.
Once again, both these teams have just let the pressure of the moment get to them in crucial moments of the game. They should really be doing a better job than that. Scores still at 0-0 as a result. Just manages to keep it in. The ball trickles down into touch. Intercepted by the St. Mary's defense there. Mohammad Adil's attempt to dribble past to no avail.
Now St. Mary's with a decent amount of pressure now, and Super Sun having to deal with that. A fantastic little bit of footwork there on the far side, and the corner comes in. And the ball comes in. What an effort that was! And you expect Ismaila Bumere to bury that with no questions asked, and Rishan Shyam on the touchline, not very pleased about it. And what a ball that was. Ismaila Bumere, I don't know how he's managed to make a meal of that.
Ball just whizzing past Abu Mere's head in that occasion. Will be quite disappointed by that miss. Had they scored that, they have been able to put some pressure on these table toppers, St. Mary's, by going one up. St. Mary's now with the pass to Jerinson. Little too much power behind that pass, unfortunately. It's a goal kick for Super Sun. Abu Mere being swarmed by 3 defenders there. Super Sun finally managed to get back possession of the ball.
Bit of a contention about why that wasn't a foul. I think fair enough, a bit of a shoulder barge, yes. but absolutely reasonable on a ball there for contesting. Kamara Jr. feeds it out wide. The ball comes back into the middle. No problem. Sindhujan collects it with ease. Now Shivanka Balagamagi sends it forward once again. E.B. Channa with a little touch. Beautifully into the path of his teammate, and Mohammad Adil couldn't really keep that in.
Jerinson with a pass into the middle. Unfortunately, Prem Kumar unable to control it. John Lyas, who's gone down, and that'll be a yellow card for the Super Sun play. He's been booked. Looks like both these teams missing out on the opportunities have resulted in these players just being frustrated.
So now St. Mary's with the long ball coming into the box. Doesn't even make it to the box, unfortunately. Losing the ball cheaply and putting his own team at extreme risk on that occasion. Ruben Raj very nearly nicking it off. Shivanka, Abu Mere. Referee blows the whistle to go back, and Shivanka catching his counterpart on the follow through there.
It was Ravindu Dushan of Super Sun who was booked earlier for that infringement. Referee having another word with the players now.
Just another look at that one. Shivanka absolutely well within his rights to pursue that. Once again now. Mohammad Adil trying to feed it forward. Back to Adil. Shivanka sent out wide. The ball coming in. Kamara does fantastically and managed to get the ball out wide. Beautiful work there by Kamara, and Super Sun now with an opportunity and a waste of a corner, but waste of a cross, but a corner won, and E.B. Channa seems to be making his way to the corner flag to take it.
Here's the cross coming into the box. Well defended. Cleared by St. Mary's. John Lyas there doing the clearance for them. And here's Jerinson now with the through ball. And here's St. Mary's into the box now. And brilliantly done by the defense there. That is Ismail Abu Mere. Apologies, that's Michael. Has done a brilliant job there. Had he not made that run, had he not made that disruption, it was a goal for all money for St. Mary's.
Absolutely, and credit to Prem Kumar. Could have gone down very easily, but tried to stay on his feet and play the game. 9 out of 10 times you'll see the attacker take a dive as soon as he feels the contact behind him. Like I said, Prem Kumar, credit to the man, staying up on his feet.
It was a good play by Jerinson as well. That through ball. Well timed. Well executed. Once again, there's a brief pause in proceedings.
So 1/3 of the game over now. And Bilal, what has your reading been? It's been rather even, both teams not really showing like they've packed their shooting boots for today's game, and as a result we're at 0-0 as we proceed with 33% of the game.
Neatly Deshan, both these teams will have to change up a few of their tactics going forward, because at the moment it seems like they, especially Super Suns, are limited to one channel of attack. And had it not been for that valiant effort by Michael, they would have been 1-0 down. Credits to the Super Sun defense as well. They've been tested a lot by this St. Mary's attack. Jerinson, Prem Kumar and Loyas had many opportunities. Play resumes once again, courtesy of a drop ball. And here's St. Mary's again now with an opportunity to attack. Loyas going for goal there, just not getting the contact right. Blocked well by the defense. And here's Tilaikan then once again. Fortunately, things now heating up a little. We'll be looking for the cross here. Very well done by Shivanka there.
Just about getting those crosses in first time, so you're not giving enough time for the defender to premeditate those things, and on that occasion of course just a bit of brilliance by Shivanka to get across and cut it down. But both the teams need to be a bit more potent if they want to break in and get rid of this deadlock. As the ball comes in, a good opportunity.
St. Mary's, whenever they are on the attack, they commit a lot of players forward, trying to create that overlap in numbers. It's been something that has haunted the defense so far. Still, defense doing quite well to anticipate those runs. And here's the cross, once again intercepted.
And beautiful work there by Kamara. Shivanka now with the ball, and Shivanka has the opportunity to spread it out wide, and he just does that, but gives it away. And here's an opportunity for St. Mary's. Both teams, fantastic defensive structure, back four sitting on the top of that 18-yard box. And a waste of an effort. I have no idea what on earth he was doing there, but Super Sun now making their way up the pitch.
Respite, brief respite for the Super Sun defenders there. They'll want to capitalize on this opportunity now to trouble St. Mary's defense, but doesn't do so. Here's St. Mary's now on the counter.
Tilakanadan, what a shot that was. And an even better save by Shalita Tilakasiri. Tilakantan will think that he did most of what he was supposed to do correctly. Sees the goal and takes the shot, but I don't think he really caught the shot the way he wanted to. That can happen when you're running at pace, but
He would have been aiming for the corner, close to the post there. Fortunately, powers it straight into the hands of the keeper. Well done there by Tilakasiri as well. Here's Jerinson now. Whipped into the box.
Kamara gives the ball away immediately, and St. Mary's now with yet another chance. And very nearly Michael tries to get it. Kamara breaks with it, looking for support, and Kamara finds Abu Mere, and Abu Mere now has space to run into. Abu Mere does beautifully to turn past Nidarshan, but cover defense doing its job, and Madhivadanan E.B. Channa once again, heavy pass, loses it. St. Mary's now trying to break these lines, and a beautiful effort, looking to make Prem Kumar get on his bike, but intercepted again. And now this game is opening up, and it's looking fantastic for viewers. Blowing the whistle there for a high boot.
Game has definitely come alive in these final few minutes of the first half. Both these teams will want to go to the sheds with something to show for. Yes, and Mary's now once again to the wing. Here's Tilaikandan with an opportunity. Just takes a little too long for that cross, and here's another one. Well done again by the Super Sun defense. They've looked solid so far, and here's Super Sun now on the counter. Just holding on to it for a little too long, and he goes in. It's the ball still in play, and it's a goal. It's Super Sun who breaks the deadlock. What scenes here at the Racecourse International Ground. The defense nowhere to be seen. The keeper did extremely well to block that shot. However, Rinaz Ahmed gets his name on the scoreboard there. Here's the keeper. Knocks on the post, and the defense not fast enough. It's Rinaz Ahmed who gets to that ball. All he had to do was lodge it in.
A little bit of luck there for Rinaz Ahmed as well. The ball coming off the upright, ricocheting off Sindhujan and then falling to the far side of the goal. Not expected either on the part of Sindhujan nor the defense. And Super Sun immediately look to be making a double change in this first half. And coming on now for Super Sun, Harsha Mandira rather.
Substitution for Super Sun. Jersey number 11, Azim Ahmed. is replaced by
Azim Ahmed also replaced by Ranga Mendes. Yeah, just there, Mohammad Adil replaced by Harsha Mandir as well. So slightly more attacking substitutions coming in. Just 40 minutes in. So Rishan Shyam taking no chances here.
It's been really good from Supersan in these few minutes. They haven't had a lot of attacking opportunities. It was St. Mary's who kept knocking on the door. However, it's Supersan who takes the first stab, pierces through St. Mary's defense there. They'll be reinvigorated with that. And a little mistake now. And an opportunity wasted once again for St. Mary's. It's all happening in these final few minutes of the first half.
Ranga Mendes giving it away very cheaply in that fullback position, really opening the door.
St. Mary's still looking for that elusive goal. Slowing things down just a little bit here. Bit of space now. Well done there by the Supersan defense. Given away once again.
E.B. Channa once again caught on the ball. I know he's been winning a few fouls as well, Bilal, but he's just been lagging a little bit. That first touch. You know, you lose that yard of pace when you hit your 40s, but needs to be careful not to be caught out in a way where it poses a threat then to the defense. But Supersan won't mind more of this. Another free kick for Azhar Mohammed. Good opportunity for him to get the ball up the pitch, but gives it away immediately there, Azhar Mohammed. And now pushing forward, St. Mary's. Fantastic work there by the man in the number 3 shirt. Sorry, man in the number 8 shirt rather, Michael. And once again pushing through here, Rinas Ahmed. Looking for support.
St. Mary's on the counter now.
Good pressure from Channa.
Now the good attacking position for the Super Suns. Cross into the
Offside once again. Rinas Ahmed thought he was second time lucky, but just a yard offside as a result.
good awareness by the St. Mary's defense as well. Tussle in the midfield for the ball. Trickles out. Super Sand once again. They wouldn't want to let go of this lead that easily. And here they are looking to double it. Just overcooked there, that throw. That'll be a goal kick for St. Mary's. And looks like they'll be opting for another long pass straight to the forwards. St. Mary's captain Nidarsan once again, who positions himself for that shot.
E.B. Channa now with an opportunity, again caught on the ball, again wins a foul, this time clutching his ankle, but again Bilal Channa getting caught out. I think he falls awkwardly on his right ankle. That's That's what has hurt him. And somehow clutches his left ankle after going down, so I don't really understand what went on there, but regardless, he's, especially in the middle of the park during these attacks, if you lose the ball, it really exposes your defense to a break, and Channa needs to be careful.
Super Suns were at a good attacking position as well. Had Channa been able to get past that ball to his wing, he wins a foul for himself. Here's Kamara Jr. And it looks like it's Channa who will be looking to take this free kick.
And while we wait for that free kick, 2 minutes of added time for this half. Just made official there by Asanka Silva from the touchline. So minimum of 2 minutes of added time.
Do you think he'll go straight for goal here,
Just a
Deshan?
bit too far out, I think. Bilal, he has a boot for that. And he's made the wrong choice. It's essentially a conversion, not really a shot on goal. It's always difficult when you're 35, 40 yards out to get the right power behind it as well as the height. Because you can get it on target, but you need to get the right pace. It's a bit difficult to do, really. But now St. Mary's with an opportunity to drive down this flank. And very nearly, but well defended once again by Super Sun. They won't mind this as they roll in to the final minute of added time. It puts them in an interesting position in the half-time break. Really changes the conversation that St. Mary's were supposed to have. So, like we said, topsy-turvy group this one, and St. Mary's, they really need to get their act together.
St. Mary's has had plenty of opportunities, Deshan. They just haven't been able to capitalize on any of them. They've just been lacking that finish, much needed finish for themselves. On the other hand, Super Suns, they've had a handful. They've made sure that one of them did count for themselves. Good bit of work to keep it in play there. Fortunately to no avail. St. Mary's players pressing high, tempting.
Good
Put
composure
some
there by
pressure.
Michael as well, isn't it? Just to play the ball out the back, and with that, the short whistle blown by referee A.M. Zafran, and much to the surprise of many, St. Mary's struggling in this game, not converting their chances, and Super Sam, with a bit of magic, has found themselves in a position where they are 1 goal ahead. And as we go into the halftime interval, it's Super Sun 1, St. Mary's 0.
Definitely a lot to talk about for St. Mary's in this halftime talk. Captain Nidarsan unhappy about something. Super Sun will be quite delighted by the result so far in this first half. They're up ahead by 1 goal. They'll be looking to maximize on this pressure that has on the opposing team. Here's the halftime confirmation. Super Sun leading by 1, and all to play for in the second half. Here are the highlights. Many an opportunity for St. Mary's to make something out of it, but it was Super Sun in the end who managed to get the ball behind the net, courtesy of Rinaz Ahmed. It was very, very good chances created, and here was that goal, just bouncing back. The defenders not doing their job in that instance, just a little complacent there.
pitié. Jada jalilade rase. Champions League ek had gas mein hanguman kick pe java naramenne bhagi dulanne bhidi dasate goal ek gannai sit sarasenne samarok venne saddeta denne. We are one game, one heart.
One game, one heart, Champions League. This is where we start. Together we dream, together we fight. We are the champions. Under the light. Football புதுமொழியே, இனங்கள் மதங்கள் கடந்திடுமே. ஒன்றாய் இணைந்து பயணித்தொன்றாய் எல்லைகள் தாண்டிடுவோம். The lights are shining, the crowd will roll. This is the moment we waited for. The passion's rising, the call is clear. The Champions League is finally one game, one heart, Champions League. This is where we start. Together we dream, together we fight. We are the champions. Under the light. We play for love, pride and pain. For every child who dreams a game. No borders here, no fear, no end. Just one dream that we defend. மரங்கள் கிக்காகுமே, களத்தில் உறுதியாய் மின்னவும் நாமே. Champions League வரவே, உணர்வதற்கே தருமே.
Cheer ekai gammak denne kollo set ekama ek wenne goal ekata kick එක denne Champions League mein aramenne.
One game, one heart, Champions League. Satanai aramenne, bibidenne, jaya ganne, eka sinata apiyanne. One game, one heart, Champions League, where dreams take part. Raise your flags, feel the art. Football, one game, one heart. Hey oh, one dream, one star. Hey oh, one game, one heart. Champions League, forever we play. The spirit of football.
And here's St. Mary Super Sun taking the field now for the second half. Everything set for a very exciting half here. Super Sun, of course, having gone one up in the first half, will be looking to extend and maintain that lead. St. Mary's, of course, will want to cut that deficit and win this game here. They'll want to stay in that number one position there in the table. Super Sun threatening St. Mary's defense early on. Easy work there for the keeper, Sindhujan.
St. Mary's now having to come back from a goal down, and early doors it looks like Super Sun are the team that has continued in taking this initiative, as by the looks of it at least. Hitting the deck on that occasion is that Rinas Ahmed. Need to have a look. Don't really know what on earth he was thinking there. Little clash of feet and he goes down holding his head. It's very unnecessarily from Rinas Ahmed.
What do you think the team talks would have been like for both these teams, Deshan, during halftime?
I think for Super Sun it's about doing more of what they've been doing so far. I think they've not been a cut above, but they've done what was necessary, which is to get the ball in the back of the net and then do enough to disrupt St. Mary's and stop them from playing their usual game. So in that sense, I think really worked out for them, and it's more likely that in particular Rishan Shyam must have said to just keep doing more of the same thing. But for St. Mary's in particular, I think at the top end of that table, Ratnam Jasmine would not have been happy with the fact that they did very little in terms of executing their plan, and was a serious problem. So far less positive for the Jaffna side's team talker. That's at least how I assumed it went, and St. Mary is now looking to press through. Well done there by Michael. Michael releases the ball, but unfortunately falls straight to Nidarshan. Nidarshan now looking for support. St. Mary is looking for options, and here's a beautiful pass. But just lacking that cutting edge communication, and Sindhujan jumping on top of it.
Tilay Kandan just not fast enough in that moment. Perfect opportunity for him to get the ball. I think, and here's another shot at goal there. Well handled by the keeper, Tilakasiri.
Beautiful bit of footwork there by Abu Mere. Abu Mere looking for support. Abu Mere on the turn. Unable to quite create that end product for himself.
Another attempt at a long cross, and the ball in the box there, but once again disrupted by the Super Sun defense. And I think that defense from Super Sun is what has changed their game today compared to their performances previously.
Absolutely, they're looking very strong in defense, and the 31-year-old Ismail Abu Mere The Nigerian forward, he's been fantastic as well. Really holding fort. A rather careless bit of defense there, and not very pleased by that, Kamara. Living dangerously, Super Sun. And once again, St. Mary's give the ball away, and here's an opportunity now. John Loyas concedes the ball, concedes possession. A bit of a careless bit of play on that occasion by Rinas Ahmed. He had the opportunity to bring it down and heads it straight back to St. Mary's, and meanwhile we've got a man down on the far side. Look at who that is. Oh yeah, there is John Loyas. Gets a bit of a hit as he tries to get past the Super Sun defense.
Been hectic for both these teams in these opening few minutes of the second half. One thing that has been consistent so far from the first half to the second is the defense, the defensive acumen shown by Super Sun. They'll be hoping that they can keep doing this, but how many more waves of attack can they actually defend? Can they actually hold in before St. Mary's pierce through? All they need is one opportunity, all they need is one mistake for things to go their way.
Good piece of defense there in the right back position for Super Sun. Ravindu Dushan rising highest and taking it off the head of Jerinson, but once again more to do here. Shivanka Balagamage marking his man, but Super Sun does fantastically well. Kamara releases Abu Mere driving forward. Abu Mere tries to find that through pass or to EB Channa, but just a bit short on that occasion.
Channa there was making that forward run, and here's St. Mary's now. Jerinson crosses it in, and he gets contact, and it knocks the post, and another opportunity. Brilliant defense by Super Sun, and they get rid of the ball now. 2 chances, 2 shots at goal. St. Mary's still denied. Yes, St. Mary's again just flirting with another chance at goal. Another cross this time.
Beautiful takedown there by Tilekantan, but just nicked off of him. Oh, what a nice header, and Tilekantan again taking his time. Shalita Tilakasiri. So an early scare in the second half for Super Sun. St. Mary's will consider themselves unlucky.
St. Mary's have been going for that long ball routine quite a few times now, but he hasn't paid off as of yet. Might be interesting to see if they do opt to suck the defenders more into the midfield and then go use that to pierce through the attack. Here's an opportunity now once again. Ball floated by the skipper into the box.
I need more authority inside the box there from Shalita Tilakasiri. He should be coming out either to get it. Should be punching it away. What essentially happened there was Michael running into his keeper and giving the attacker the opportunity to get his head onto it. And now Michael's hit the deck, but Shalita Tilakasiri should be commanding his box a little better.
Coach will be hoping that it's nothing too serious for Michael and that he can resume play, because he's been the leader of the Super Sun defense so far. The skipper Nidarsan just floating it in once again. Defense holding, but for how much longer for Super Sun? Looks like Michael seems to be all right.
They shore up the back quite a little bit.
Super Sun attackers have been found offside quite a bit now, and credit to the St. Mary's defense as well. However, they should be a bit more aware of their positioning. In that previous instance, they were just caught being complacent, not making any movement whatsoever. St. Mary's now back with a little bit of possession, hoping that this will count for something here. Goodbye Thilekandan there, holding on to the ball.
Michael once again intercepting, getting in the right positions, and St. Mary's now somehow ended up with the ball. The shot comes in. What an effort that is! All Shalita Tilakasiri can do there is stand and watch as the ball sailed into the back of the net. Everything almost happened in slow motion. As Jerusalem from the wing. Ratnam Jasmine watches as this one sails over the keeper. Jerusalem knew he can't beat the man for pace. Beautiful little elevated ball coming in. And Shalita Tilakasiri was not expecting that.
No one was expecting that shot by Jerusalem. The defenders were high up. Jerusalem just lobbed it, powered it straight over their heads, right into the back of the net. The game has come alive now. This will be pressure for Super Sun.
More than anything, Super Sun was sitting back for the last 15 minutes. Now they really need to get their act together, but St. Mary's pressing up on their end of the pitch.
This is exactly what you meant, Deshan, when you did mention that they should be committing more players into the attack. And all of a sudden, Super Sun will be finding themselves in a little bit of pressure.
What a ball there by Shivanka Balagamage. E.B. Channa, can he get a shot away? E.B. Channa needs to do something with this one. E.B. Channa, once again, he's been absolutely off color today, E.B. Channa. He's lost the ball multiple occasions, and on that chance there, he should be finding a teammate or testing the goalkeeper, but instead trips over the ball.
He should have gone for a shot at least after that first touch. That was a good pass. Good cross by Shivanka. And here's St. Mary's with another opportunity. And they go for goal, but this time
Should be hitting that first time, isn't it? What he did there, taking 2 touches, took the ball away from the goal and made it a lot more difficult for himself than it needed to be.
And in a matter of minutes here, St. Mary's have come alive now with much more venom in the attack. They've done it once, they know they can do it the second time as well. And momentum on St. Mary's side for the moment.
And suddenly everything that seemed impossible seems possible for the men in white and blue. Chasing all those second balls, and that's another example. The intensity has really gone through the roof. John Loyas on that occasion.
And it really makes a difference when the crowd's behind you as well, doesn't it, Deshan?
Absolutely, we've got a very good turnout here on this Sunday afternoon for this game.
Dushan will be looking for a long throw, finding one of his players. Not successful that occasion. Shivanka plays it back for the 2 players. St. Mary's now with another opportunity to go for goal. A beautiful little cross there. St. Mary's still in possession of the ball. Not the best of passes there. He had 2 options. One with the player bearing on him and another completely free. He goes for the former. Doesn't get it right, but here's Super Sun now with another opportunity. They have a player right in front of goal. Will Super Sun be able to do it? No, not this time, says the St. Mary's defense. Just not able to get that prop contact right. Tempting to get it. That first chance itself, that was good thinking, however, doesn't get it right this time. It's all happening here now. And here's Chan with an opportunity to make amends for his previous mistake, previous fumble. Everyone's watching as to where this cross will go. Not the most perfect cross we've seen today.
Yeah, wasted effort there. He needs to be getting a better cross in. It's putting way too much pressure on the attackers to try to make something out of it. They really need to start target in the middle of that 18-yard box at the edge of the 6. Super Sun. They need to turn up the heat, crank up the pace. Shivanka Balagamage trying to do just that. Abu Mere involved in everything they're doing right. Channa, beautiful little pass. Rinas Ahmed down this flank. Rinas Ahmed needs to get the ball into the box. He does, but straight at the keeper. With the pace of the game, really getting that much quicker.
Sindhujan skies it out of the area of play. This game, once again, both teams level 1-1. They need a goal. Well intercepted by St. Mary's there. We'll be looking for a chance to make something here from this counter. Good bit of skill to keep the ball at bay from Super Sun. It's again toying with the defenders here. But Super Sun will be happy with the result. They get a throw in for themselves. Forced error there.
Another substitution on the cards here for Super Sun. So that's their third substitution at the second time of asking. And it looks like Raish Ahmed is going to be coming on. So Hasham Andira has had about 20 minutes on the pitch and he's been replaced once again. A substitute for a substitute. So clearly, Rishan I'm not very happy with Hasham Andira's performance today.
Raish Ahmed, and player who can create an attacking threat for Super Sun, who has been substituted in.
Shivanka Balagamage feeling that it was a little bit of a harsh yellow card on his behalf. And I kind of understand where he's coming from, bit of a tongue on the shirt. I don't really know if there's enough in it to call it a professional foul. It's not much in it, is there?
Definitely will be feeling that he's hard done by that decision. However, has resulted in Super Sun having 2 yellow cards. Here's St. Mary's now. Ball just getting bogged down. Corner for St. Mary's. A host of defenders in that box for Super Sun. Last thing they can afford to do is allow another goal, a second consecutive goal it would be. And here's the cross, beautifully floated. However, just doesn't get the execution right. Another player goes down for Super Sun. There'll be a break in play once again. Seeing a lot of those in this game.
Absolutely, and just trying to get a look at who that is hitting the deck.
This is only hurting Super Sun's own momentum.
Yeah, I think there was Ravindu Dushan there, defender, who has hit the deck. I think he fell awkwardly as a result of that challenge for the ball. And just having another look, substitution with Jerinson coming off by the looks of it. Yes, it is. Marison coming on.
Some fresh legs now for both of these teams. Some fresh attacking options as well to create something. The coach is looking for that spark. They know the defense has been playing for 70 minutes now.
Ravindu Dushan seems to be okay. Will be able to continue once the stipulated 30-second period has lapsed.
Ball just exchanging possession in the midfield. Neither of the teams managing to hold on to the ball.
Play board back there again. I think E.B. Channa involved in a bout of play that saw some hands flailing. And by the looks of it, has resulted in Madhivadanan being caught out. Just a bit of a shove as he goes up for the ball, but Again, don't think there's much in it. But St. Mary's again also asking for some medical attention. So another stop in play.
Definitely interested to see how Raish Ahmed would do here for Super Sun. He was a player who did quite well for them the previous games. Break in play once again. Both these teams giving both these teams an opportunity to just catch their breath, regroup. An opportunity for the coaches to send in a message or two as well, along with those water bottles. Shivanka now, who will be taking this free kick. He'll be looking for another good cross into the ball once again, floating in. Ball now loose. Ball goes out there. Crowd getting very animated at that call. Here's another opportunity now. Chan. He'll want a better cross than the one he delivered last time. This time a low one. Well done by the defense there, and it hits the crossbar. And another opportunity. A tragedy of errors. Comedy of errors for
How
Super
did that
Sun.
not go in? It's beyond me. Hits the post twice in quick succession once again. The goal scorer. Very nearly. Very nearly Rinas Ahmed's brace, and the ball falls once again after that for Kamara Jr., who hits it again. Comes against the upright once more.
Kamara Jr. should have done better than that, I feel, Deshan.
But again, and that first phase of play, as the ball dropped, it was Ismail Abumere who managed to nick it off the defender, which then provided the opportunity for Rinas Ahmed to take that shot. He has been in the middle of everything that Super Sun have done this afternoon.
Definitely. He's been all over the pitch. Been there for Super Sun during those crucial moments. We'll be having another break in play here. These minutes will be adding up at the end of the game. How has that not gone in for Super Sun? Two opportunities. Kamara Jr. having the whole goal glaring at him, just unable to get it through this time. Valiant header by Shivanka to keep that ball at bay. And here's the cross for St. Mary's. Shivanka will have to be a little careful here. He already has a yellow card to his name. Last thing Supersan would want right now is to have one man less in this game.
And 15 minutes left in this game. St. Mary's, after their initial burst into action following that goal, have conceded the momentum to Supersun, and the game has really evened out. But now an opportunity for St. Mary's to swing this one in.
Be the captain once again. Will take the kick. 4 players at the edge of the box. Here's the captain. He's going for goal. And almost gets it in. Good effort, but not good enough. Nidarsan. Here's Shivanka now, once again, with a block. Good bit of clearance there. Prem Kumar, unable to get that ball to one of his players. And here's St. Mary's in the box. Well cleared once again by the defense.
And here's an opportunity for Supersun, but the referee has flagged it down for dangerous foot up there. And Ruben Raj will feel lucky that the whistle has gone, because if it hadn't, Rinas Ahmed there gets a yellow card. I don't know if that's quite what was deserved. I think both the players had the opportunity to go for that ball, but the referee has decided that Rinas, the goal scorer for Supersun, deserves a yellow card, and having a word with E.B. Channa as well.
That's 3 yellow cards now for Supersun. Is a good moment in the game for St. Mary's to strike back if they must. Here's Nidarsan once again. He'll want to emulate. It's the replay.
Both the players with the eye on the ball really there. So Channa once again twisting and turning and very nearly conceding the ball again. Bit of a dangerous play and careless header there. And Supersun managed to connect it to Rinas Ahmed. The ball coming here. Here's a fantastic opportunity to put the cross into the box, and that's exactly what it is! What a goal that was! All the hard work done on the flank by Rais Ahmed, the substitute, and Ismail Abumere. He's been driving this attack from kickoff, and he just may have put the icing on the cake.
This is just brilliant, Deshan. What a brilliant bit of attacking play here by Supersun. Everything done perfectly. Perfect little cross by Rinas Ahmed, and Abumere there making no mistake. The crowd has come alive for Supersun. Once again, Rinas Ahmed. Perfect cross into the box there. Falling straight at Ismail Abumere's feet. Now St. Mary's will feel like they are a bit under the pump here with just 9 more minutes to go in regulation time. Because there will be considerable chunk of added minutes being played, seeing as how there were quite a few breaks in the game. Super Sun, after being down the beginning of the second half, they've just managed to come back, emulate their first half heroics. They're one up now once again, and St. Mary's now will be looking to calm things down, to slow things down, gain some composure, gain some control of the game for themselves. Super Sun not allowing that, and once again a similar opportunity, and it's called offside. Rinaz Ahmed there, not delaying his run. Crowd getting animated in these last few minutes. That's offside there. It's a good call. It's a correct call by the referee. Both these teams egged on by their fans, by the crowd here. And here's St. Mary's now will be looking to get that cross in. Well dealt by Tilakasiri.
And suddenly, end-to-end stuff here at the Racecourse International Stadium. Super Sun still holding the advantage. Rina Samal on that far side.
St. Mary's have an experienced trio in the front, and they'll want them to fire now before it's too late. Ismail Abumere, what a game he's had there, Shan.
Absolutely, he's been the live wire behind this attack. And Sivanka Balagamage also the engine of that midfield as well.
Yes, St. Mary's now with an opportunity in these dying minutes of the second half, in these dying minutes of the game. Will they be able to make something out of it here? They have 5 players in that box, 6 players inside that box.
Prem Kumar should be doing better. And the dark arts coming into play. Once Prem Kumar skied that, immediately Shalita Tilakasiri hits the deck, and the clock is ticking as we roll into these last 5 minutes of normal time. Prem Kumar just way too excited, got ahead of himself.
The nerves of the moment just getting into him there in that occasion. Don't know why Tilakasiri has gone down. There's no contact. Unless he's nursing some older injury.
Yeah, it just looks like he's clutching his shoulder, the right shoulder.
St. Mary's now will have a few minutes to take a breather and get their game plan right. Substitution.
So it remains to be seen now whether Tilakasiri has it in him to continue playing, and looks like he does. And he's ticked away important seconds and minutes in this game.
Looks like There'll be a substitution. In these dying minutes. Yes, Tilaka Siri now. Skies it high into the ground. Unable to keep it in. St. Mary's now will be looking to make something out of this opportunity. They go long. Cleared by the Super Sun defenders. They have only 2 players committing to the front while the rest have joined a low block. But here's Super Sun now. Ball well in the territory of St. Mary's. Chandler not happy by that call there.
Substitution for St. Mary's. Just number 20, Jacob Anand is
These are
replaced by just
few
number
more
19, Sebastiano.
minutes that is being eaten away. Few more seconds of the game. It will be Sebasti Arul who goes in for Jay. Tilay Kandan has had a very good game.
Now St. Mary's will have maybe one last spell of attack and they lose the ball, but referee gives the free kick their way. But like I said, one last phase of attack and maybe one big chance left in this game.
Reminder for the viewers that St. Mary's still haven't lost a game and they are going up against the bottom of the table. The players at the team at the bottom of the table, that's Super Sun. And the game of football always keeps surprising you. It's Super Sun at the bottom of the table and St. Mary's at the very top, going up against each other. And in these dying minutes of the game, it's Super Sun who's leading by 1. And there'll be a substitution in these dying minutes. Hasita Priyankara will be coming in for Shivankar, who's had a very good game so far. He's done his job, one could say, for Super Sun. Controlled that midfield and also made sure he made those all-important crosses, some very good crosses into the box as well, that brought in fruitful results for Super Sun. And here's St. Mary's now. They'll be wanting to create something here. They know they're at the top of the table. They wouldn't want to go down too easily.
Just now, waiting to see how many minutes of added time has been declared. By the looks of it, looking like 4 or 5 minutes. Yes, it's 5 minutes of added time. So minimum of 5 minutes left in this game.
5 more minutes for St. Mary's to create something here. And 5 more minutes for Super Sun to hold on.
Fantastic defending there. And exactly what Super Sun need. Now kill a few more seconds with that, the goalkeeper. That's exactly what he's doing.
Game management coming in for Super Sun. They have 4 minutes to hold on for them. The defense has held on for 90 minutes so far. They only have 5 more minutes to hold on. And St.
Beautiful
Mary's
bit of touch there by Raish Ahmed and with a nice little turn. And now once again, Rinas Ahmed trying to press through. Kamara pressing. Michael with the pass, but St. Mary's nick it once again. The first minute is done. He has an opportunity. Does he shoot first time? No, he looks for a turn. Raish Ahmed does well. Raish Ahmed takes a tumble under no challenge. Marison with a throw in, not really going anywhere, going straight up. Marison again.
Super Sun trying to match the same pace St. Mary's is playing in. They should ideally just slow the game down for themselves. Make sure St. Mary's works for possession of the ball in these last few minutes.
Chandler with a nice little elevated pass, but goes straight to the goalkeeper there, and Sindhujan gets it out very quickly. 2 minutes down. Out for a throw in, and once again St. Mary's in the Super Sun half, and now making a substitution. Prem Kumar coming off and Midinson coming in. A very interesting substitution there, Bilal, particularly given Prem Kumar is an attack and Midinson is a defensive player.
Definitely nothing to lose now for St. Mary's, unless Midunson has some X factor that we are not aware about. And here's an opportunity for a cross. Deshan is there twist in this game in this final minute.
2 more minutes left as we've completed 93 minutes and the ball comes in. Once again well cleared by Supersan. Killing those seconds and pressing far up the pitch, Rinas Ahmed. He's got quite the battery on him. Ball coming in. Here's a great opportunity for St. Mary's. Leaves it. And that effort. Maybe now.
Oh my goodness. What has happened there? That was St. Mary's opportunity for the equalizer. But they just haven't been able to keep calm. They just haven't been able to keep their composure.
1, 2. First one. Second one. First the skipper. Nidarshan takes a bite. Nothing doing, doesn't get much joy. And then Sebastian Arul, his effort sliced and going out of bounds.
St. Mary's now once again with another opportunity. The final minute of the game. All or nothing for them. Not the best of crosses. St. Mary's still battling it out. They'll want their strike players inside the box now. Crowding the box now is St. Mary's. Super Sun, almost all of their players inside the box, defending for life there. Yes, St. Mary's now trying to create something. Another cross. Once again, done well. Ball booted forward.
15 seconds left in this game. One final attack potentially on the card for St. Mary's and the ball comes in. And maybe now. Free kick. Given the way of the burial aside, and that should be that. In this game, this will be the longest free kick you've ever seen in your life. Shalita Tilakasiri takes all the time in the world. Referee has a look at his watch and that's it! What a game that was! And against the run of play and against the run of form, Super Sun, the bottom team in this group, have defeated the big dogs. And St. Mary's going back to Jaffna with nothing to show for their trip today. And at full time, it's St. Mary's 1, Super Sun 2.
What a game we've had here today, Deshan. Just brilliant. This is not a result many of us saw coming. Super Sun at the bottom of the table and St. Mary's sitting comfortably at the top. And it's Super Sun who has finally destroyed that unbeaten run that St. Mary's had for themselves. They'll be disappointed by the result. St. Mary's would not be something they would have expected, but joy unconfined for Super Sun and their supporters. They've dethroned the team at the top of the table. They'll have a little bit of hope for themselves going forward in this tournament. What a game we've had, and credit to the Super Sun defense as well. They had to control, they had to take blow after blow of St. Mary's attack, coordinated attacks. They just didn't let it go away. And here's St. Mary's. They had so many opportunities in the second half as well. They just couldn't find the back of the net. Brilliant goal, but it just stayed at that one. Will be Ismaila Abumere who wins the Player of the Match award. With that goal there, that sealed the win, that secured the win for Super Sun. Beautiful cross by Ahmed right into the field of Abumere, and Abumere making no mistake there. Super Sun beat the unbeaten St. Mary's. They secure 3 points for themselves as the race to that top 4 berth becomes just that closer. We'll be going down now for Navud as he has the man of the match, Ismaila Abumere, with him for the interview.
I'm here joined by the man of the match for today's game, Ismaila Abumere. First of all, congratulations, Abumere. It was an important game for Super Sun after all the drama that happened in the previous game. How did the team prepare for this game, and just tell us about your performance as well?
We have been preparing very hard. You know, all the teams, the coach. Our results haven't been very good, but we are determined to change our situation. Our coach is not here, Coach Paki Ali, but he has been working very hard with the team. And everybody, the management, everyone, we have been working very hard to make sure we turn our season to a better season.
And how about your performance and throughout the few games? Are you happy with your performance and going into the next few games, which are very important if Super Sun are to be selected for the Super 8 as well?
Yeah, my performance, I know I need to improve. I haven't been bringing out my best. I know I can do more than what I'm doing. I'm also trying to do, the coach is trying to bring out more from me and also my team. So I know I can do more. Then if we do more, then we can challenge for the title also.
Thank you and all the best for the next few games.
Very much, sir.
And that's Ismaila Abumere. Is pretty elated by his team's performance. Crowd just elated by what they've been witness to here today. And we have a few more interviews. We'll be going back to Navud, who is at the ground.
අප සමග දැන් එකතු වෙනවා සුපසන් කණ්ඩායමේ සහාය පුහුණුකරු රිෂාන් ශ්‍යාම් අද තරගය වැදගත් තරගයක් වෙනවා සුපසන් කණ්ඩායමට මොකද පෙර තරගයේ තිබ්බ හැම දෙයක්ම එක්ක ඉතින් තරගය පරාජය වෙලා ඉන්නේ. ඉතින් කොහොමද මේ තරගයේදී කණ්ඩායමක් වශයෙන් සූදානම් වුණු ක්‍රීඩකයන් කීප දෙනෙකුත් නැතුව මේ තරගයට සූදානම් වීමත් මේ තරගයේ performance එකත් ගැන?
ඔව් ඇත්තටම කියනවා නම් මේ අපේ සුපර්සන් එකේ අපේ හිටපු හෙඩ් කෝච් පකිරලි මාස්ටර් එයා ගැන කියනවා නම් එයාගේ බෙස්ට් ට්‍රේනින් ඒ වගේම එයා බිල්ඩ් අප් කරගෙන ආවා මේ ටීම් එක සෑහෙන්න කරගෙන එනකොට ඊට පස්සේ මේ ප්ලේයර්ලා ඉන්ජර් වුණා. අපිට ගොඩක් ප්ලේයර්ලා රෙඩ් කාඩ් කෑවා. එකකින් අපිට හොඳ ටීම් එකක් දාගන්න බැරුවත් අපි අපේ ප්ලේයර්ලා අතරේ කතා කරලා මැනේජ්මන්ට් එකත් එක්ක කතා කරලා මැනේජ්මන්ට් එකෙන් කිව්වා මේ වගේ මේ ටීම් එකක් දාලා අපි තරගේ කරමු කියලා. ඇත්තටම මේක සාර්ථකත් වුණා. විශේෂයෙන්ම ඇත්තටම අපේ මැනේජ්මන්ට් එකට ස්තුති කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ වගේ මගේ හෙඩ් කෝච් එයාටත් ස්තුති කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ ඔක්කොමල්ලා ප්ලේයර්ලාගේ සහයෝගය ඇතුව තමයි අපි මේ තරගේ ජයග්‍රහණයක් කරනවාම කියලා එක අභිෂ්ඨානය හිටියා.
අදත් ඔබ කිව්වා වගේ පුහුණුකරු පකිරලිය නැතුව තමයි කණ්ඩායම සහභාගී වෙන්නේ. ඉතින් මොන වගේ දෙයක්ද පුහුණුකරු වශයෙන් ඔහුගෙන් ලැබිච්ච අවවාදයක් එහෙම තිබෙනවා නම් මේ තරගයට, ඒ වගේම ඉදිරි තරගවලදී මොන වගේ සූදානම්ද සුපර්සන් කණ්ඩායම තිබෙන්නේ?
ඔව් ඇත්තටම අපේ පුහුණුකරුත් මේ අපිට කිව්වා මේ විදිහට ගාමු. එයාත් ඇත්තටම සෑහෙන සහයෝගයක් දුන්නා. ටීම් එක මේ විදිහට කරන්න එතකොට සාර්ථක වෙයි කියලා. ඇත්තටම එතුමාටත් අපි ස්තුති කරනවා. ඒ වගේම අපේ මැනේජ්මන්ට් එකට ස්තුති කරනවා. ඒ වගේම අපේ ප්ලේයර්ලා ඇත්තටම හાર્ඩ් වර්ක් හොඳටම ඇත්තටම ශ්‍රී ලංකාව එච්චරයි.
බොහොම ස්තුතියි. ඉදිරි තරඟවල සුබවතන.
Thank you.
He'll be proud of the resilient nature being shown by his boys here, who are at the bottom of the table before today's game. They managed to beat St. Mary's, who are at the top of the table. And we've got one more match to finish off this Super Sunday today. It'll be Mathura City Club taking on Pelicans SC. They are in for a crack of a game here as well. It'll start at 8 o'clock here at the Racecourse International Grounds. Because these are the fixtures for next week. The game goes on to be SLTB taking on Nigambu Youth FC, and SLTB will be hoping that they can make a comeback in this latter part of this tournament. Because Super Sun will be taking on Pelicans, Crystal Palace will be taking on Serendip SC, and on the 17th of January, along with that, Mathura City Club will be taking on Solid SC, who put on a good performance yesterday. And of course, St. Mary's will be looking to make a comeback against Sri Lanka Police this time next week. And Java Lane SC versus Saunders. That will be another game to look out for. Got a lot of football coming in for week 6 of the Sri Lanka Football Champions League 2025. We've got a lot of action as well coming up today. And tune in at 8 o'clock today for another crack of the game. And for this match, this will be me, Bilal Marikar, and Deshan Gonawala signing off.